Hey everybody, I'm Alex Pearl, and this is Alex Smells. Like the 70s. So today I'm going to talk to you about the rare discontinued scent called Stephen B. This was released in 1975 by Max Factor, and to my knowledge, I'm the very first person on YouTube to do a review of Stephen B. Feel free to fact check me here, but I think I'm right. There is no publicly listed nose for Stephen B. So who was the nose? I don't know. Some corporate goon, maybe? Not sure. If you have any information for me, please let me know so I can fill in those blanks, but I know of nobody and read nothing that said specifically who was behind Stephen B. The one thing that I have heard consistently is that Stephen Burrows was not involved in the creation of this scent. And I do have some supporting evidence, so stick around. More on that later. I have a feeling that if he was behind this as a creative force, it would have been far, far better than it is. So what accords do I get? The accords that strike my nose are powdery, aldehydic, green, musky, and flora, both rose and white flora. And the listed notes are non-existent. There is nothing out there about Stephen B. I'm not even kidding you. I tried looking all around the internet for a notes list, anything, and there is just nothing out there. So I was forced to rely only on my own nose. Why not? I'm just gonna dive in and figure things out as I'm trying not to drown. So what is it that my nose actually picks up on? I get a lot of benzoin, I get a lot of aldehydes, I get a ton of oak moss, and it, given the time period, was probably real oak moss. It smells like it to me. I get some rose, I get plenty of lily of the valley, and I get a little bit of civet. I just want to take a moment to mention something. There is this thing that happens when I smell something that uses a lot of aldehydes and benzoin. And how shall I describe this? So what is it that comes to mind when I smell this? The first descriptor that immediately comes to mind is fusty. And that's a word that I don't think gets enough play. Fusty. Something that smells like it came out of an old attic, someplace that's dusty and hot and stuffy all at the same time. I think of dated, I think conventional, I think uninspired, I think of thrift stores, and nothing on, shopping thrift or anything like that. But here's the thing, you don't want to smell like a thrift store. Part of what made me look for this fragrance in the first place was reading this book, The Battle of Versailles by Robin Givhan. It's excellent, and in a part where she's talking about Stephen Burrows and his shop, she speaks about this musk, heavy, kind of dense, rich scent that he had pumped through the shop, and I thought, does Stephen Burrows have a perfume? Did I just never hear about? How did I never hear about this? Because he's such a cool guy. And I thought it's something that's ludicrously musk heavy. Yes, please, put that on me. Give that to me. That's not what this is, sadly. This scent does follow a lot of conventions of other scents at the time, and it also feels like it borrowed from some trends from years past. So it strikes me as something that was probably developed by an older nose, which is weird because this is for a much younger, more fresh, hip, cutting-edge designer. So it smells like a mismatch. Stephen B actually reminds me of a few different scents. Number one, it reminds me of good old Aramis 900, which I really, really like. It reminds me a little bit of this guy, Jean 2, which I think is pretty good, and this lady, Spectacular by Joan Collins, which is not at all. But it kind of smells like all of them at the same time, and that's a problem. Can we talk about the marketing campaign for a second here? Because, come on. When you take a look at the advertisements for Stephen B., whether it's the commercial, which was bland, or the print advertisements, which were even more boring, something that you might notice is the models kind of look like they're, I don't know, at the office and they're on their way to a lunch break or something. Where's Pat Cleveland? Where's the excitement? Where's the fashion? Where's the weirdness? The crazy bold color? Where's Stephen Burrows? Because you don't see him here. It's weird to me. This is a scent that is, it's called Stephen B. Where is he? He's practically joined at the hip with Pat Cleveland. And if you don't know who Pat Cleveland is, go out and find who Pat Cleveland is. She's incredible. She's gorgeous. And she's got this energy about her that's just like non-stop, super, super cool person. But despite her being Stephen Burrows' muse and like electric in front of the camera, she's not here. Why? Also, the bland color scheme on the packaging. It's so boring. It's all white and this kind of like rosy pink. Meh. It's so dull. There's like one interesting looking piece in the whole to-do of Stephen B. And it's this little locket that was designed by Elsa Peretti, who is a cool person, an interesting artist. She traveled in the same circles that Stephen Burrows did. So there's like this one like eeny-beeny little trinket that has to do with Stephen B. that I'm like, oh yeah, well maybe he had a hand in that. You know what? I can't imagine what it would have been like if the scent would have been designed by Stephen Burrows, and that is so cool. What I picture would be something like super heavy, heady, tons of projection, like fearlessly musky, something like Hyrax before Hyrax was Hyrax. Like you would have to own your sexuality and not really give a crap what everybody else around you thinks, and you would just wear it and be bold and daring and different. And those are the things that make me happy, even if some people say that they smell of boob. I don't care. So all right, we're gonna get to the ratings now. As far as scent goes, it's the benzoin and the aldehydes that are killing it for me. Just destroying it. I cannot wear anything that is heavy on those two notes because it is unpleasant to me. So scents, I'm gonna give it a D-. There are some good elements to the scent here, don't get me wrong, but they're too few and far between. I love oak moss. I really, really love oak moss. And I like the fact that this is a genuine oak moss. Like if I could rip that out of here, the oak moss, the rose, the like little bitty bit of civet, and make something else, I would have done it. But if I did that, I would wind up with this, which I already like. And it didn't need to be made twice. Longevity, as far as longevity goes, I'm gonna give it a D. It lasts for maybe 1 to 2 hours and then just gone. Like I just gave this a top up right before I started filming, so it's already faded. I don't know if that's because of cheap ingredients. I don't know if that's because of age, but longevity sucks. D. Kind of tied in with the longevity situation is projection. Like I mentioned, it does not project much. Even when it's at its peak, even in that first like 5 to 10 minutes, Stephen B is only projecting like maybe 4 to 6 inches away. So I'm gonna give it a D. For the majority of the time that you're wearing Stephen B, it's gonna pull in pretty close and it's gonna stay there. And that sucks because I crave power. Overall, I'm gonna give Stephen B a D-. Is this something that I'm gonna buy again? No. But I am glad that I got to experience it. I'm happy that I got to dip my toes into being like kind of the first guy on the internet to talk about a thing, because how often does that happen? But it just happened today. Yeah, as an academic curiosity, sure, but I don't want this. I don't want this on my body. I don't want this near my body. I want this to go away. I'm gonna sell this. I cannot say this enough. Stephen Burrows is still alive and he's still out there. And I know that there's like no chance that you're ever gonna see this video, but Stephen Burrows, you are so cool. And I love your style. I love your artistic work. I love your energy. I love you as a human being. Can you and Pat Cleveland please get together and give us the vision that you had for a fragrance? Because the world is now ready for it. I have a feeling that if Stephen Burrows would have made something that he really wanted, instead of marketing it just to women, and like I mentioned before, having these 3 sort of like happy, professional looking girls in the advertisements, it would have been gender neutral. The world has caught up to that idea of his, that clothing, that fragrance, that accessories can be gender neutral and pretty easily. So wherever you are, Stephen Burrows, Pat Cleveland, I love you. Please, please make this happen. I want to smell what it is that you had in mind, what you really wish that you could have done originally. I'd be proud to have that on my shelf. Just as happy as I'd be to get, Stephen B out of there, because that doesn't represent you. That's not who you are. It was something put out by Max Factor. It was just a product. You're an artist. You can still make this happen, and you can still do it right, the way that you always wanted, and you can bring that vision of yours to life. We're ready. We're hungry for it. Please give it to us. Please, please, please do this. All right. Enough of me blah-blahing on. I love you. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there. Come back for more. And good night. Have as much fun as you can. That was kind of a mess, but that's the ending that you get. That's all I have left. Fusty. Yeah, I just want to take a...